All right. Well, I think we're live. This will be interesting since I haven't done one of these. And I did one from the junkyard in Michigan on my cell phone, but I have not done one of these by myself in a very long time. And I see that there's only one person in there. So I'll wait for things to see if this is working. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. It was working earlier. Remember, welcome to the chat. Remember the yeah, yada yada yada. All right. I will wait for people to come in. Let's see. See if that helps me get a little bit more clarity. Why is this not looking like it's working? Is this on? Yeah, that's on. Okay. All right, I got 4 people in here. That's definitely more encouraging. That if someone can let me know if you can hear me, I'm seeing a little bit of wiggly things from the audio, so I think it's working. But yeah, just set up in my garage. Took a few hours today to just clean up a little bit more from yesterday and get things going. Got a little heater over here blowing directly on me. So if you can hear it, let me know. I'm going to see if the audio is working right. Nope, not doing that. Not doing that. Okay. Loud and clear. Is it Mopar? It's Mopar no car. Okay, good. Happy to hear that people are able to hear me loud and clear. I don't know why, because it's only showing one green bar on my little microphone thing, but we'll roll with it. Happy 2026, everyone. I hope everyone is happy and healthy. I know I was rather sick here at the beginning of, actually, it was right after Christmas. The day after Christmas, literally the day, I helped a friend fix a car temporarily. And I literally came home and I'm like, hey, I don't feel real well. And so I went and laid down and slept for basically 2 days underneath like 12 blankets. But it's been really, really crappy weather for the most part. What was it? Yesterday was in the 50s. And so I came out here and cleaned up a bunch. I don't know, the camera's way too far away, but if I move the camera, I guess I could move this forward. Hold on. Ooh, 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 ooh. Nope, that's off. There we go. It's better. Definitely better. But man, you got so much stuff up here. Let me see if I'm going to go move it a little bit. Hold on one second. I'm sure you're probably asking yourself, why didn't I do this before? I tried. This old camera I have that I'm doing the live stream from is ancient and it's really, really touchy. So I didn't want to try to mess with it too much. But all right, yeah, we got 13 people in here. Okay, back to the original game plan. Happy and healthy 2026, everyone. I'm Ryan Brett. I call myself the auto archaeologist. And funny that developed over a decade ago now, just because I ran out of room on my original Facebook profile, and I needed to create like what was before it was a creators page. It was a business page. So I had to come up with a name. So I came up with the automotive archaeologist, and it's stuck since. And I think it's been well received over the last decade or so. Definitely, people know me by that. Actually, it's funny, more people know me by my voice than by my look, which is a good thing, I think, because I'll be talking at like a car show, and people be like, "Oh, I know that voice." Did a lot of that last year. Lots and lots of car shows and adventures, and I thought I'd go over and do quick go through some of the adventures. I pulled them up here. What I do is, come on, all of my adventure pictures, I back up online and I do them by date. So it goes from last year at this time all the way through the end of basically McCacken is like the end because after McCacken, it's Thanksgiving, birthday, Christmas, Hanukkah, that kind of stuff, New Year's. So basically, it goes from I do an adventure around this time of the year, someplace hopefully warmer, and then I work around. But let's see here. Last year, January 26th, I had to go pick up some car parts on the south side of Chicago and went saw my friend Todd, and he has a collection of cool cars. And while they were in a barn, they were not barn finds, obviously, because they ran and drove for the most part. It was a lot of fun to finally get over there and see them in Indiana. Beautiful. The lake that we had lunch at was all frozen over. That was a lot of fun. But the one that's really memorable is the next trip. At the end of January, early February, there's usually a Mopar swap meet in Detroit called the WPC swap meet. And the swap is first it was at the Gibraltar. Well, it's bounced all over in years. I don't go every year, but when I started going to it, it was at the Gibraltar Trade Center or whatever they called it, and that closed, and it moved over to the Macomb College, like auditorium, not an auditorium, a gymnasium, basically, and that's where it's been the last few years, and that's great. Unfortunately, here in 2026, I think there's some construction going on, so they had to cancel it for this year, but it is going on next year. I've heard and I've seen from David Radcliffe that Mancini is going to be doing an open house, like sale at the Mancini location, like basically the same weekend. But that's not, I don't know if I'll be going to that. But last year, it was early enough that I was able to go and I went to the swap meet. I was able to find parts that I needed for the 71. I got the hood trim. I got my friend Ryan. He got me. He had a kick panel that I needed for the car, or maybe it was 2 years ago. Whatever. I got some parts for the car. And in the Detroit area, there's this town called Rochester. I'm pretty sure, and they're downtown. Every single building is done up in different lights, and I've always wanted to go see it because it's really neat. It's like probably a good half mile long, both sides. And after I think it was the day of the swap, I realized that it was still going on because it ends like February 1st. I think it was January 29th. And so I went over there and checked it out, and it was freezing cold, but I still walked and up and down taking pictures. It was like those will be one of those memories I'll always remember, and especially since my friends bailed on me because it was too cold. But yeah, all right, we got 12 people and 6 thumbs up. All right, and then what else we got? Oh, so that led into me visiting my friends in the area. If you remember from early in the year, there was a red 70. I think it was a Grand Coupe Cuda, Barracuda. You know what I mean? That was rough, and the guy was asking like 30 grand. I think I never released the video from that because I was supposed to get updated information on if it's sold or whatnot. And unfortunately, it did sell. I was never told. I never got any of the extra pictures they were going to send me. So that just sits there, maybe never released. Actually, I'll probably release it at some point with whatever documentation I have. But it was a really neat car. It had like a shaker hood, and it was a red rubber bumper car. I think someone said it went to Indiana. Indiana? I'm not quite sure. But all right. And then going on from that, also I visited my friend Tim and his demon. Ooh, the next one was a fun one. I'm a member of the Chicagoland Mopar Connection, the local Mopar car club of the Chicago area. And we usually have like 5 big events every year. We have a winter swap meet. We have a spring, early summer show, usually somewhere on the like south side-ish Chicago, southwest side. Then we got the Fox Lake show. Then we have the Belvedere Mopar happening, which is a 2-day event. And then we have the Dubuque Mopar show, which is in August after Woodward and all that. So I this it's bounced the swap meet, which always happens right around February 2nd, that weekend. It has bounced around the last few years. For 2 years, we had it at Bentonhausen Dodge's The Garage, which was like their customization building. And last year, we had our first year at their brand new dealership. And that was cool to see. A brand spanking new Dodge dealership that, fine, fix it. Oh, yes, Mopar, no car. Okay, cool. You ever see the episode of Dennis Collins has the Jeep Cherokee with the Hellcat motor in it? I have not. I don't watch Dennis Collins stuff. Um, but I've seen Hellcat Wranglers and all kinds of stuff in the past. But yeah, so going to a brand new Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler dealership that had been open, I think, for only like a month, that was really cool to see. The only thing that had ever done something like that is back, ooh, was it 15 years ago when I bought the blue cars outside, just outside the door. But when I bought the blue car, Fields Chrysler Dodge Jeep used to be right by my house, up on right off the highway on 94, and they built a brand new dealership over by a more fancy area, and they made that Jaguar and Land Rover. And so I was there when that opened, but that dealership's unique. I've never seen one quite laid out like that with a whole like ice cream bar and some other cool stuff. So that was fun to be able to go see the. Oh, and so the swap meet was great. I picked up stuff. I saw my friend Galen. I saw my friend Arvid. My friend Seth came with me. All my Mopar friends from the club were there. Roger, Ron, everyone. So that was a lot of fun to begin the year. Going from Detroit, seeing my friends there, because my friends in Detroit are great. I really they're some of my best friends. Ryan, the other Ryan, I know now 2 other Ryans. There's Ryan Detroit, my friend Doug, my friend Dan, my friend Mr. Hakeem, Bob Ashton, Vicky Ashton. Wonderful people who I get to visit when I'm in Detroit. And what I've been doing in the past was, since I'm one of the, I'll call it an event organizer with McCacken, their main offices are in Detroit or just outside Detroit. So I would go there a week or 2 before the show and get work done. But fortunately enough, we've been so McCacken has been growing at such a steady rate that the timetables are moving up. So like barn finds, where it used to be that barn finds would fill up in let's say August time frame, because people didn't know if they were going to be bringing a car as a barn find or starting to restore it. But now, because it's become so popular, we fill up in like May, which reminds me, McCacken applications opened up on the 6th for the entire show. We already have, I think, 3 or 4 barn finds signed up, and I think a few more are rolling over from the wait list last year. But so that's really cool. And then, so I no longer go to Detroit in the fall right before the show because I don't need to. We get things done so far ahead of time that by the time the fall comes around, I don't need to go because it's already been done. So it was really nice to go in January and see my friends, because I don't get out there as often as I want. I only get out there usually during Woodward, and I'm there for a week, but that's a tight week. So when I had the bonus of being out there in the fall, it was definitely a plus. So it is what it is. This year I might go to the Mancini thing. I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. Depends on the weather. That's a big thing. With me not having a truck and the Challenger not being great in, the snow and sleet, and the minivan definitely not making it about this point. So, yeah, What else we got? Let's see. That was just to begin the year. Ooh, after the CMC Mopar swap meet is the Indie swap. And this is a 2-day event in it's usually early March, usually like the first full weekend in March. It's that is my favorite swap meet to go to. It's two big, huge. I'm gonna call them gymnasium. I mean, they're not gym. They're like event spaces. Two of them, full of nothing but Mopar parts. Absolutely, I get to see a bunch of my good friends. Every day is. I'm not gonna say a party, but it's a blast. I go there. I very rarely ever buy anything there. Last year I did. I bought some more stuff for the green car, which I'll get to the what's going on with the green car. Then, oh, so that was also used to be a 3-day show. Used to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but now the Indie Mopar Trade Show, hosted by Indie Cylinder Heads, is now only Friday, Saturday. That means you have to get there Thursday now to be able to get any deals. But it's always a good time. Highly recommend it. If you can go, that's like if you're not going to Carlisle, you're not going to the Mopar Nats. That's probably one of the best swap meets in the country for Mopars, especially being early in the year. What really worked out is, oh, here we go. I live 30 minutes from Wellborn Museum. Have never been. It's open every Saturday. Yes, I work with Tim Wellborn of the Wellborn Museum. I technically am employed by him in some capacity on occasion. Um, yes, go to the Wellborn Museum. Highly, highly recommend it. They're always changing stuff out. Tim is a gracious host. Him and his wife, absolutely amazing. Go there. You'll spend all day, and if he's cool, he'll take you to the other properties that are around. I last time I was there was 2021 on Power Tour, I think. It was right before he bought the because I don't know if you know, the Wellborn Museum bought the gas station next door, and they were gonna redo it, like clean it up, fix it, and do that kind of stuff. I had a four-door. Long it was green four-door Matador. I mean, it was funny. I remember listening to the Dukes of Hazard podcast with Kibby and friends, and Corn Dog mentioned that the Dukes of Hazard production crew got a whole bunch of Matador cop cars for like nothing. I don't know where, but they got a bunch of them, and they hated them so much they wrecked them as soon as they could, and then went back to like Monacos and that kind of stuff. I mean, they're fine. I've driven Gremlins, AMXs, Javelins, Matador wagon, and they're fine. But oh, so at the Indie swap, it was cool because I got a lead from a gentleman. He's like, "Hey, if you know of any Mopar or if you're into cool barn finds, go west, and I'll show you some of the cool cars I have." So I went over there, and he had a barn full of like GTOs. If you saw the 4 option like thing where I said like choose the best picture and that silver GTO judge, that was from that find. I haven't released the videos because I will be going back this time also to go redocument it because they had a lift truck in front of the cars that made it very difficult to film. And so they said next time they'll move it out and allow me to go in there. Are you doing the Hot Rod Power Tour this year? Yes, I will be on Hot Rod Power Tour this year. That is the plan. As of right now, it's still going to be with the blue car. But I am, if I can get the green car together enough, maybe. It still needs a lot of work. I have, I don't know if you can see it. That box, whoop, right there, that box is the lower core support for the Challenger. And I don't own a truck or trailer, so I'm at the whim of my friends if I don't go rent a U-Haul, and I don't want to bother them for just my shits and giggles. Eventually, I will get the green car. Fortunately enough, Magnum Auto Restoration out in LaSalle has generously offered to help me at a discounted rate fix the front end on the green car. And I bled the brakes last year and never checked them. And then I went to go check them, and the battery was shot. So I got a lot of things, but I'll talk about that later. Have you done a lot of work next door? Oh, they have done a lot of work next door. I drive by at least once a month. Oh, that's great to hear. I know I talked to Tim for a few minutes at McCacken because Tim's one of the sponsors of different sections of the show. This year it was the Hemi display and the spring fling, the famous, now famous, the green and pink cars that were all done like a watermelon. That was cool. That's great to hear that they've been moving forward on getting that together because that those two together are phenomenal. But oh, so the real quick back to Indy. I went to the GTO find, and I'll have the video out probably in March after I go back the second time. But oh my goodness, GTO Judge convertible that they cut a tree down to get. They had that silver GTO Judge that was the father's car. Is the father's car? The father's alive. A lot of cool stuff. Okay, and then what do we have after that? I'll try to make this go a little quicker. I went back to Detroit. Oh, that was good. That was a good one. Okay, I went back to Detroit because I had stuff to go do where it was like in junkyards and such. And you want to go to junkyards in the late winter, early spring before there's foliage, the leaves are still down, there's no animals really, no bugs. So I went to Detroit because I had a bunch of yards to hit up north of Detroit. And so I went and helped my friend Tim with a project on this demon. I went out to dinner with my friend Doug to Vincetta Garage, which I highly recommend, even though they have increased their prices a little bit. But oh my goodness, I got to go see. Um, I've been trying to reach a friend of mine. You saw the video on the Magnum Force Dodge Magnum. That's a friend of mine, Mike, and he's in the video. I had known him for years, and I'd stopped by his place, about 7, 8 years ago, and had his number. Tried calling it though. No, like it was a dead number. I'm like, oh man, I hope he's okay. So I just went to his house, and he was home, fortunately enough. And he's like, oh yeah, come on, let's go walk around. And we walked around for a few hours, and he told me the story about the Magnum Force. And if you saw the video, all the Shelby Chargers and the Shelby Lancers and the CSX Shadows, the Aspen Super Coupes, and the Dodge Travco. How could I forget the Dodge Travco? That was a lot of fun to see. Even though it's not the year that I like, it's just like, someday I'll have a Travco and drive around the country documenting cool cars. And then I kept on going north. Actually, like I actually planned a multi-day, all on my own trip, which I don't do very often. Usually I do in association with something else, like Hot Rod Power Tour or Roadkill Nights, whatever. But this one was multi-day, multi-stop. Unfortunately, the weather turned bad to the end, so I had to cut it a little short. But oh my god, if you saw the video that the last one released on Monday of the Z28 Camaro crushed, the 69Z that was in the junkyard and the 71 Challenger, that was the last one from the first part of that adventure. I'm hoping to go back this year again, do something similar, and finish off a lot more of the cars in that yard. I know there's still a ton to go do. So go from that. I really should have posted about this on my social media. Oh well. So I went there and I went and checked out this guy, Jerry. Jerry is an absolute gem of an individual. The funny thing is, 2 years ago now, my friend who owns that private muscle car junkyard, we were having a breakfast at this little town cafe. And we're chit-chatting and talking cars and so on. And he goes, oh, hey, there's Jerry. You really should talk to him. He has fields full of Mopars. And I went, how did you not tell me about this in the first place? If you saw the 71 CUDA video from November with the shaker hood, that was the first video from Jerry's place. I do that as a teaser. I do have more videos, another 71 CUDA and a bunch of other stuff that I will be releasing. I have one video coming out this coming Monday that's like a single. It's all on its own. But then I'm going to start the Jerry cars, which should be pretty good. Another 71 CUDA, a bunch of Challengers in the field. All the stuff in the field are actually the Dusters and Dart Sports are pretty nice. But like all the E bodies and all the B bodies are really rough and not worth a lot of parts. But yeah, that was a great trip. That was like 9 days between Detroit and then traveling through Michigan. And like I said, there's even more. There are yards in Michigan that I haven't hit up yet, and I so want to. There's some by Grand Rapids that they're public, so it's not like I don't know the name offhand, but I'm hoping this year to do something similar. I also want to go south. I'd really like to go south because I was supposed to go south in December, but the weather didn't allow me to do that. So I still have a lot of stuff down there to do. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, so after Detroit, I did go to St. Louis for a few days, which was a lot of fun because I got the opportunity to go document a collection of really rare Mopars that are legit barn finds. I mean, some are Hemi cars. There's an AER CUDA in there. There's a six-pack CUDA. There's a 71 Challenger convertible, and they're in a legit home-built Fritzen barn. I think I haven't gone through that video footage in a while. It came out pretty dark, and some of the stuff is buried. But I know my friend Seth was the guy who introduced me to the owner, and maybe I'll release that before Jerry's. I'm not quite sure because it was before. Then we'll see how it all falls. But that was a lot of fun. Going down there, going to my friend Clay and Sons, the big Mopar junkyard that's hidden kind of down there. It's funny, people know like Mopar City, which is great, and they know Steven's Performance. And it's funny that they don't know Clay and Sons. I did a post on, I think, ebodies.com's Facebook page about Mopar junkyards and how there isn't any real equivalents in the GM or Ford world. There are some smaller GM and Ford junkyards out there, especially ones that specialize in Camaros or Mustangs or Torinos, but there's no big. I mean, you guys tell me if you know of a a Chevy or a Ford junkyard that's, just a yard full of Chevys or Ford, whatever. Let me know because we were talking about it that like there's Mopar City, Stevens, Clay and Sons, Wildcat out up in Washington, I think it is. And there's a few others. There's like Shady Nook on Oklahoma. But someone told me, I mean, I follow them on Facebook and they are restoring cars and selling stuff. So I don't know what's left there. But there's also Billy West Pedden's Mopar Yard out in North Carolina. That's a good one. But so there's all these Mopar yards with like no denomination. There's anything there. CUDAs, Challengers, four-door Coronets, yada yada. But not really anything in the Ford or Chevy world or GM world like that, where it specializes in a single marquee. But yeah, so going down there, that was always good. Get to see my friend Jason and Laura and Rob and Tom and Rich. That is a great time. Oh, and then right after that, that led into my WGN special. They did I think it's about 8-minute long little. Aaron McElroy did a like maybe it was 10-minute long little um, special feature on me, which I think I shared on here at some point. I don't usually like to promote myself, but that was a lot of fun. And Erin was absolutely amazing, and her camera woman was amazing. And I definitely, definitely appreciate them taking the time to go out to Mopar City, ironically enough, and film with me because they wanted me to do what I do in front of a camera for documenting. So I was like, I had a very slim time frame and very slim options. And fortunate enough, it worked out with Mopar City. So that was a lot of fun. And I know Larry at Mopar City appreciated it. And I'm blanking on the other guy's name. I'm sorry. But after that, I mean, those were some amazing adventures. And we're only into like April. And then Boris from Street Machinery contacted me. He's like, hey, do you want to come document these cars we just bought out of a garage, out of a building in Rockford? And I'm like, is it the way he was framing it? I'm like, is it this place? He goes, yeah. I'm like, wow. I didn't think anyone was ever going to get that stuff. And that was the best video series I had last year, was pulling all those Tri-5 Chevys, the Nomads, the Impalas. I wish I could have been there every day just documenting it. Unfortunately, I was driving back and forth from Chicago, where I live, and I couldn't do it every day. Also, the first day was like pouring rain, so I didn't feel like setting up in the pouring rain. But did you guys see those cars? I mean, the pictures I took, I'm now, it's almost a year out. I still don't believe those pictures. I mean, every single car was in there with stuff full of parts. The guy had jacked them into spots so they were all right next to each other. And then he piled parts on top of them and between them so no one could get in and out. Even though we know some people that walked on the cars and ruined a lot of good parts. But Boris went through with a crew, I think for like overall, it ended up being like a month of time, but just broken up. And he just sold, I think, the rest of that collection. I don't know where or what happened. I know a bunch of the stuff did sell beforehand, but he had still a handful of cars left and all the parts, I think. Or he was selling some parts on his eBay. But yeah, that was fun. Someone's, oh, you're gonna go check out a whole bunch of Mach 1s down by Wellborn. That's cool. And there's a bunch of good finds down in Alabama and that Louisiana. Oof, I got, I got stuff. See, I only started really filming stuff within the last, oh, 5 years. Like I have stuff before that, before COVID, but not. I mean, I was single handedly. I was photography. I have over a million barn find pictures from all my travels, and so video. Like I went to a place down in Alabama that I need to go back there. I hope the guy's still alive. He had a Hemi Charger. He had just cars in the forest. He had like 20 Tri-5 Chevys, bunch of rare Mopars, nothing super like, other than the Hemi. The Hemi car was a nice running, driving car, but wow, there's so much good stuff down there because it doesn't rot. It's just so dry. But all right, well, yeah, Rusty, let me keep me posted. Let me know. Oh, you know what? There was a Ford guy down there. Oh, you know what? Drop me a line about the Mach 1s. I'll see if it's the same guy. I went to a Ford guy down in Alabama, and he had Mach 1s and all kinds of cool stuff. He had, I think, 13 Boss 302 engines he bought from a Ford engine place that was going out of business. If you saw the video and pictures of like cars in a farm field, like an actual, like there's cows in the picture, that was the same guy. But that was like years ago. And unfortunately, the guy who took me there, Eddie, he passed away. Oh, that was sad. But back to Boris, I went back there 4 times before they finally, kicked it in. I mean, they were done, and every single time I was there, oh, actually, this air cleaner right here is from the Boris collection. It was the only really like super do. I mean, there were some Mopar parts in there, but I've always wanted a. That's a 72 340 4 barrel air cleaner. Well, there's never a 2 barrel 340, but I have that there, and then the you can see over there in that corner, the top. I'll let my friend take some measurements on it, but I might trade that for a 3D3 air cleaner for my 71 because right now I just have an aftermarket one on there. But after Boris, let's see what we got here. Oh, we're going for 30 minutes. Okay, well then we want to kind of kick this thing in the. Okay, we did that. We did that. Oh, I went to Wisconsin and there's a small Mopar swap meet in Wisconsin. I don't know if they've announced the times yet. It might be up. I'm not quite sure, but there's a Mopar swap meet at the Fox with FOXX lanes. It's a bowling alley, and they let us use the parking lot for a swap meet. So I go there, and then I always do barn finding around the area. Went and saw a 69 Charger 500, which I think I did a quick video on. He had a really cool 71 Charger and some other cool stuff. I really gotta go back there. It's like it's just far enough away that it's like you have to be going somewhere or whatever, but I gotta go back there soon. Let's see what else we got. Try to kick this thing in the. All right, we got that. Oh, then I went and I did an updated video on the B-17 bomber that's being restored up in Hampshire, Illinois, with Mike and his crew. And wow, has that thing changed for the good. Like they're working on it and stuff's getting put together. And I mean, from where I saw it almost 10 years ago this year, Unfortunately, if you saw the video I did, which did like 7 million views on Instagram and Facebook, the right behind where the B-17 is used to be soybean. So the plan was to put the B-17 together, and then when the bean fields freeze, they were going to fly it out. Now it's a quarry. So the plan is to put the B-17 together, and because they were made to be disassembled and assembled, so they're going to assemble. They're going to put it all together in pieces, I should say. Like the wings will be there, the main fuselage, and they'll truck it to. I think they said probably Rockford Airport. There's another one I'm blanking on, but they're going to take it to an airport, do final assembly there, and then fly it out to where I do not know. But it's really nice. You can go online to on Facebook to Desert Rat B-17. They update it kind of frequently, so it's a lot of fun. And then after that, after that was the TV show. I haven't really talked a lot about it because it's been a little funny, but not funny in a bad way. Just it didn't follow the normal. Well, did I just screw this up? No, I didn't. It didn't follow the normal um, plan for a TV show as you would think of it. Normally, I'm not going to get into too much details. A TV show is made, and then it's sold if it's not in house to a TV a program to a channel. Like example, Graveyard Cars. Graveyard Cars isn't made by Discovery Channel or Motor Trend. Graveyard Cars is made by the production studio that Mark Warman owns. He sells it to or that's another thing I'll talk about in a second, but to Motor Trend TV. That's why it keeps going. It's not because it has good ratings or it's liked, is he makes it and sells it to them. I just saw that Freiberger posted as I was sitting here earlier. Motor Trend TV is dead. They've rebranded it as Discovery Turbo, which I don't get. Why not just go back to Velocity? That's a known name, but that's going to be interesting to see what that does. Here's Indirect Connection. How you doing, Ryan? I'm doing all right. I have a heater blowing right on me, keeping me warm. I got my hot chocolate here. And my Yeti. Oh god, that's still hot. Oh, sorry about that. But so yeah, Discovery Channel has rebranded rebranded Motor Trend TV, or will be, to Discovery Turbo. Do you guys remember what was it? I think they did Discovery Turbo back when it was American Chopper. They had a thing like that. But getting back to the point, the people that brought you Garage Squad, which I was fortunate enough to be part of in a very, very small way for a few episodes, they have a new TV show called Lost Classics. And in the olden days, they would make the show and then sell it to, let's say, to I'll call it Motor Trend TV for right now. They'd sell it to Motor Trend, and then it would air on their channel. But with the collapse of Motor Trend TV and the collapse of Discovery and all that, instead they went with the newer style of selling it to streaming services. So the show Lost Classics is now on Tubi. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on 0 to 60.tv. That's all numbers to TV. I'm only in half of an episode with my friend Eric, who has a 71 Demon Mr. Norm's car. I thought it was very well done. We're going to do a party at some point. Things just fell up every time we tried to do something when the release schedule came out. Never quite worked out. But yeah, remember Velocity? That was fun. Back before garbage. All right, we had that. Oh, yeah. So that led into Hot Rod Power Tour. Hot Rod Power Tour was really. I wasn't expecting a lot. The route last year was pretty poor, but I didn't do a really heavy duty like powered tour kind of thing where I did in the past, where I got as many Mopars together to cruise together. I promoted it myself, and it was in Mopar Collector's Guide and whatnot. And it was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with a lot of different people, got to jump around, got to see some cool stuff. I had a barn finding adventure in the middle of it, or near the end of it, that was very surprising. Literally, just driving down the road, there's a 70 Challenger coming out of the bar, out of this guy's garage for the first time in a while. I did a video. It was a real quick video back in July on that car. This year is a little bit more interesting, where it's kind of the Hot Rod Power Tour in 2026 is sort of following Route 66. It's starting at the Route 66 Raceway in Joliet, and then it's bouncing to the Village of Rantoul, which is weird. It's not on Route 66, and like I think Bloomington's right there. Oh, let me see real quick. Let me see. I got my computer here in front of me. Rantoul is, come on. Ah, come on. There we go. The internet here is not the greatest. Okay, yeah, there's that. Yeah, Rantoul is right by Champaign, which isn't on Route 66. So that's kind of funny. But then we do go back to being on Route 66. So then after Rantoul, it's, let's say St. Louis, but it's the used to be Gateway. Now it's Worldwide Technology Raceway. So from there, we go over to Springfield, Missouri. And then from Springfield, we go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then back. But I do plan on doing other shenanigans on the way back, like visiting my friends. But if I'll try to get the green car going for that. Is it possible? Yes. Do I have the money for it? Probably not. Right now, I discovered, actually, not right now. Last year, when I was doing my history of the green car and me with it, I went through the original paperwork I had on the car and discovered that this thing has a 8 3/4, which I knew. I knew it's a sure grip, but it's got like a 410 rear gear. And I know Keith Knoll of Knoll Automotive in West Branch, Iowa. He was kind enough. He worked on the Challenger and got it running and driving. Him and Jerome. Jerome, if you're watching this, I did say your name right. I have an issue with names, but Jerome rewired the car and they got it running and driving, and then put it in my hands, and that's where I screwed up. But they said it. I mean, definitely the engine's been warmed over. We know that. But the rear man, that thing would fry the tires, and the tires are from 1997, so that says something. But yeah, so I would have to get a rear gear. I might as well talk about the green car. I plan on moving forward with the green car. I'm going to do a video series on Fridays when I can on what I'm doing with the green car. I just did the first one today. I know it's not great. It was fun though, because I got to play with weird, goopy stuff, and it worked out fine. The bumper was all about buffing the rear bumper on the car, and it's garbage. I did garbage. I should have done 1,000 different things better, but it is what it is. It's what I have. It's what I could do. So it worked out fine. So I'm happy about that. So the interior I have, it's over here. I have a carpeting set from my friend Brad. He said it was for a 71 Challenger, but when we pulled it out, the box says it's for a 73-ish, 74 CUDA with a 4-speed. He thinks it's just been mislabeled, like it was just a box that they have, but when I got it, it was too cold to really take it out. So this spring, when it gets nice out, I will lay it out and see if it is a 4-speed carpeting set. If not, I'll probably be selling it to get a proper carpet set for it. My friend, a different Jerry from Michigan, he just happened to have a spare old vinyl top for the car, which is great. And the engine is good. The transmission, the oil leaks a little bit of oil. I got to fix that. Transmission does not leak. Take that, Jason. Not every 727 leaks. If you guys think every 727 leaks, let me know. But yeah, once it gets nice and I get a good battery in it, I need to go test the brakes. After I bled them last year, I never took it for a drive because it started raining. I didn't feel like taking it out in the rain. So that's thing number one. when it gets nice. Right now, it's raining and it's below freezing here. I think it's like 32 degrees from the temperature gauge over there. So yeah, that's the plans for the green car. I have I know at least two more restoration videos I have on the interior pieces that I painted and different options on paint, which didn't turn out the way I wanted, but you'll see. And then I have one on building spacer brackets for the seats because I'm such a big person. I'm tall and fat, so I had to work around it, which I think will be all right. There's no video; it's like pictures with voiceover, but it should turn out pretty good. So Power Tour went well last year. We ended in Norwalk, Ohio, which is funny that we didn't start there this year. We're starting in Joliet, but I got to spend time with a lot of good friends. There was no stress, just cruising. I got my friend Sarah, her barbecue. She loves this barbecue place in Elkhart, Indiana, and she's never been there. But I just happened to be passing by on 80. I'm like, "Do you want me to pick you up some?" And she almost jumped through the phone to strangle me, which was funny. Definitely don't go on a long trip with a tires from 1997. You got that right. I remember Tony Angelo was talking in a post about picking up some car and how the tires were like 30 years old. And he's like, "Oh, I got to drive these and burn these off." And a guy came into his comments and said, "Hey, I was driving on some old tires and something happened and he wrecked and he was a paraplegic now because the tires were old." And that always stuck in my mind. So yeah, these tires will only be are only good for getting it around here, not driving it any kind of distance. I will be getting new tires eventually. Yeah, don't want to die. But yeah, so last year Power Tour was great. Oh, I'm got another 15 minutes. All right, so Power Tour was great. Fox Lake Mopar show, that was good. We had the McCacken. Oh, it's changed names like 12 times. I'll call it the McCacken show at the Gilmore or Muscle Up Mopar, something like that. It was fun. We had 100 and something cars. So Gilmore Museum is of course beautiful, even though they owe me money or artwork back. But we're not going to get into that. That was Saturday. Sunday was the Fox Lake Mopar show, and that's always phenomenal. It's so pretty. It's on this little pond, and it's right down the road from like Fox Lake and downtown Fox Lake. And there's this Mexican restaurant right on the lake we all go to. It's a lot of fun. Right after that, that led into pulling out that 7340 Purple Cuda. I did a video on. I thought it would do better. It didn't do as well as I'd hoped, and I had a lot of like stuff I actually thought about. Like I had cameras on tripods and wash videos, like those guys WD detailing or whatever. Like I thought people would enjoy seeing this car that had been sitting since I think 74, 76, something like that, being washed off for the first time. But yeah, I mean, it was a legitimate garage find. Went and saw my friend Todd. That was a lot of fun. Todd, he's got that field full of Chevy or mostly GM products, and a good chunk of them are for sale now. Not the 69 SS Camaro, just about everything else though. So I need to update that website. I have a website, my old, if you go to barnfinds.org, I haven't updated in a while, but there's a lot of good information on there. After that, that led into the Belvedere Mopar weekend, and that's a 2-day event out at the Belvedere Boone County Fairgrounds in Belvedere, Illinois. And that's always a blast. I mean, there's always a few hundred Mopars. Oh, I also forgot Jefferson. I don't have Jefferson on here. That's weird. I was at the Jefferson swap in the spring. I was trying to vend. Unfortunately, my publishing company, because I don't know if you guys know, I have to publish books through Motor Books. And at first they said they had them in stock, then they didn't. So I had nothing to sell other than I have some spare car parts, and I didn't sell a single one. So in the fall, I didn't vend. I just walked around like I usually do. I actually found some stuff I needed, ironically enough. But so yeah, then this year was the AMC Homecoming in Kenosha, and that's like a week-long event. I wasn't able to do the whole week, but I was able to do the last 2 days. My friends Seth and Bill, they drove up from St. Louis to Kenosha in his Gremlin that his grandparents bought brand new. I know I did some posts on that. I did some videos, and I have a few little shorts that I've never released. But that was a lot of fun. Bill and Seth had a good time. Bill wanted to kill Seth a few times, and everyone wants to kill Seth at some point. But it was all right. We all had a good time. We got to ride the street cars there in Kenosha, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful weekend. That led into the Illinois Railway Museum car show. That's always a fun time with different. They run a bunch of different electric trains on the main line and on the streetcar track. They run diesels. They run the big steam locomotive. Their big steam locomotive was broken, but they were running their Shay, which is the weird one that has the crankshaft in them. That was always a good show. Like I enjoy going to that one. More people should go to that. That led into Woodward. And Woodward this year or last year was wow. Every day was filled with something amazing. We went to the unveiling of the new gas powered Dodge Chargers, the 2 doors, the 4 doors, the Hellcat Durangos. I got to get pictures with the president of Dodge, the president of Stellantis, all my friends, Christy Lee, and then we did Roadkill Nights. And that was amazing, hanging out with Freiberger, Finnegan, and all those guys. That was weird because if you guys don't know, there's the publishing part of Roadkill, which was like the TV shows and all that. That's what died. But the magazines and the events, like Hot Rod Magazine, those live on with Hearst. So there's still a Roadkill Nights going on. And there will probably be another one this year, from what I've heard. But this year I tried to get, if you saw my post earlier in the year, I'm trying to get more pictures with people because unfortunately I've had a lot of people that have passed away that I know from various maladies. And I had a friend of mine, Carl, who passed away, and they're like, "Hey, do you have any pictures from him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did Route 66 with him. I have to have pictures." And I had like, I spent 14 days with him, and I had like 4 pictures of him and like 20 of his car. I'm like, really? He's in his car? And so I made a vow to try to take more pictures with people and my friends to show that I exist and that they exist and that we are having fun. So that worked out a lot really nice. I did a post on my personal Facebook page and that went really well. Come on. Got to hang out with my friend Doug and Ryan and Murray and Bob and Vicky, and that was a lot of fun. Ooh, one of the real highlights of the year was working with the steam locomotive out of the Wisconsin Auto Museum, the Sioux 1003. For a very short time, I helped them with some social media stuff, and so they allowed me the opportunity to. I'm not going to say play with the steam locomotive, but got to do stuff that normal people don't get to do, and that was very kind of them. And I'll never forget it. Like going in the cab of the steam locomotive that's actually an operational, like they were shoveling coal at that time, getting it ready. That was a lot of fun, and I'm very thankful to them and allowing me to do that. You can follow them online. It's the Steam Locomotive Heritage Found Locate, something like that. If you look up Soo, SOO 1003, there's a lot more information on that. Go support it. I support it. Absolutely wonderful. Then I went to the Claremont Collection. This is funny. I've been invited to the Claremont Collection many times through the years, and it's only like 10 minutes from my house. It's one of the things I like. It's always there. You think it's always going to be there, and I'm like, I'll go there. I'll go there. And then last year, they're like, nope, we're closed. It's all going for auction, and I'm like, fudge. This is not what I want to do. I'm like, I understand it's my own stupidity. It is what it is. Fortunately enough, I'm friends with like Matt and Brianna from Hemmings, or I'm from Mecum, because Mecum was doing the auction. Like, hey, we're gonna have some open houses for some people. Would you be interested in coming? And I'm like, yes. So I got to go there not once but twice before it all got sold and see the collection, which was really great to see. I mean, it's definitely a very eclectic collection from one side to the other. Everything from a fake Duesenberg to a Back to the Future DeLorean to like a real 446 pack Super 8. Some really cool stuff. So I'm glad I got to see it at least once before it goes. I'd like to see it now. Supposedly the building that the collection used to, now it's gone, used to be a publishing company for Playboy magazine. Like they made Playboys in that building for like 50 years or something like that. It was really, I didn't verify that, but I believed it. I mean, you could see the floors were super thick for all the old printing machines, which I thought was really neat. That is still really hot. Oh, wrong button. All right. Oh, went to Mo Party this year. I didn't go last year because of weather issues, but this year or last year went there, had a very nice time. Funny story. So my friend Mike Meads and Rob and his grandson, we were going to go to dinner. And then I had another guy's like, hey, can I join you? My friend Scotty. I'm like, yeah, sure. Come and join us. So it went from 4 people to 5 to 20 in about a 5 minute time span. It was kept on going to the girl. Can you add another 5? It was one of the funniest situations. My friend Mike was, he wasn't upset, but it was really funny. It's like, oh, now we're all here, and I couldn't talk to people across, and like they were there to talk with me and hang out, and I ruined that. But I will say, I got an opportunity with Holly and Mo Party for 2026. That should be very exciting. We're still trying to finalize some details, but I might have a display there this year of like submitted barn find cars, or we're going to call them, I don't know what we're going to call the display. It's not barn finds and hidden gems, but you get the idea. After that, I got the opportunity to go see the Townley collection, which that collection was amazing. That was like that collection. It blew my mind that the guy, like, he wasn't just selling one car. He was literally switching his life and got rid of it all. It wasn't like piecing it out. He wanted it all gone, and these were all top shelf cars. I mean, these were not, recreations or tributes, or these were all legitimate, real high-end cars. I did a video series, like another one of these Friday video series before the auction, and they did pretty well. But you really need to go see it. Like a Boss 429, Boss 302, TA Challenger, AR Cuda. He bought a bunch of, I mean, he just bought the top of the top at Mecum and Bear Jackson for a few years. And then I'm not going to get into it. Unfortunately, he had to just put them all away for a short time, and now they're all sold and gone to the wind. But that allowed me the opportunity to go to visit my friend Steve, who lives outside of Georgia. And I had a very nice, cool lunch with him at a train station restaurant, which was amazing. And I got to go to a few hours away to that amazing Mopar B-body collection. And you guys tell me this, okay? I have Chicago traffic, and I had been in Atlanta a handful of times. So when I checked before lunch the time to get from where I was to where I was going, let's say it was an hour. I'm like, okay, so I'll give myself 2 hours to be safe. It ended up being like 4 hours. It was ridiculous. Like, I thought I'd have all this time to go document all those cars. You saw in the video, it was like a few weeks ago. It's like 30 Super Bs, another 30 Roadrunners and Coronet RTs. And I had maybe an hour because we were losing light. And all the trees around there were really tall, like pines, I think they were. So not only was it like the sun was losing it, it was losing it behind trees, which sucked. But that, I do need to go back and see that. That guy was super generous with his time and information. What I did not do that place justice, and I will be back there hopefully this year. I would really like to go back this year, especially like now, or not now, but like late winter when there's no bugs and snakes, because that is a big concern. Oh, ooh, that is a cool Challenger, Jay. 70 TA, been in my family since 76. Oh, burnt orange. That's a beautiful combination. Absolutely beautiful. You don't see very many burnt orange Challengers. I saw 2 in Detroit, and that's about it lately. I did a video series on them like 2, 3 years ago. He had a 70 TA and then a 70 340 Challenger, and they were both burnt orange. Oh, such a beautiful color. And then, oh, then after the Georgia stuff, I went and visited my friend Bill at Flat. Oh, I'm at an hour. Oh, I'll finish up here soon. Real quick, I went to Flatbroke Garage in Tennessee, and we had a day of epic shenanigans. That will probably be the video that I'll release on Monday. Is all these short clips because I didn't have. How was I say? I wasn't in charge. I was just a passenger princess. But I wasn't in charge of what was going on. So I had to go by what they wanted to do. And I had my cameras and all that, but time wasn't my thing. So it's all these little clips of cool cars we found with no real connection or no real depth of information. Just these cars are where they exist, which was a lot of fun. And then the front suspension on the Challenger started falling apart again. Then I went to Iowa for the Dubuque Mopar show. That was always good. I went to Rockford and saw that 65 Bell or Plymouth Fury 3 original 426 wedge car, street wedge with a 4-speed. That thing was so weird and so cool. Guy sold it for 10 grand. And then after that, we led into McCacken. And what can I say about McCacken except it's McCacken? It's epic. It's amazing. Things happened where I didn't get the time I normally do on projects. So that's why you didn't see any big videos from McCacken this year on with me, because we had to fix stuff. But if you were a spectator, you never saw any of that. And that's what matters. My suffering does not matter. It was amazing. I'm glad I got to do it. And next year, I'm going to be changing some stuff up, I hope, at the show. Instead of having my display in the back, I'm going to have it up in front. I hope. I'm working on that. But yeah, that led into Thanksgiving, my birthday, Christmas. Then I got sick, and that was New Year's. So, hey, Mopar Junkie. And then that leads us into 2026. What's going on? What's the plan? I always wanted to release a video on how I do what I do, because I think it would be very informative to people. I know a lot of people that I've told in person have definitely taken some stuff to heart and used what I have relayed to organize their thoughts and their plans. But as of right now, I have some small things on the docket. I do want to get down to St. Louis here soon. I might go to Detroit. I have some stuff in Kansas, ironically enough. I have stuff all over the place. I still want to go down back to Central Illinois. There's a bunch of stuff down there I need to shoot. But for stuff I have on the books, I have Spring Jefferson coming up. That's in April. I have Hot Rod Power Tour. I am doing it. It starts right here by my house in Joliet. And it's like an hour from me. And then it ends in Tulsa. And then I got a multi-day trip back. I have Woodward, Roadkill. Oh, Mo Party. I will be absolutely 100% at Mo Party. Because I'll be running a display hopefully. Come to Detroit Autorama next month. I've never been to the Autorama. I might come to that. I have something on my calendar. Let me look it up real quick. I have something going on. I don't know when that is offhand. I know I have a lot of stuff going on yeah. Okay. The coming up right now, like in the next few weeks, we have the Chicago Auto Show, which I may or may not go to. The Mopar Connection, Chicago and Mopar Swap Meet is Sunday, February 8th. I got my niece's birthday party. And then I got some other odds and ends. So I don't know about the Motorama, but I will look into that because I think Motorama usually falls the same weekend as the Indy Mopar swap. So I will legitimately, when we're done with this, look at when that's all coming together. You can drive my Dodge Charger EV then in the snow. I've driven the EV Charger. I think it's a great car. for what it is, like if you're in the city or even in the suburbs, that's great. Uh, the Autorama basement is lit. I've heard good and bad things about the Autorama. I might go, do it. It's like one of those bucket list items. It's not high on my priority list, but like I know the World of Wheels here in Chicago is in March. And it's funny. I went there once 15 years ago, and then I went back in I think 2019, and most of the same cars were there because I have pictures of both. Like, oh, that same weird Mercedes with the Chevy V8 in it is here, and it was on fire. That was just funny. Ah, okay, that's what you mean. The Autorama basement is lit because it's all rat rods and rockabilly music. Okay, well, that's something. Well, okay, McCacken. Um, oh, so there's Mo Party in September, and then Woodward, obviously in August. Roadkill Nights. Then Fall Jefferson is usually in late September. I'll be at except for the Mopar show and that happens right before. It's like either right before Power Tour or right on Power Tour. That's the only one I miss. But I'll be at all the other Chicago and Mopar Connection events. Yeah. I'm trying to get out more this year. I'm trying to branch out, go to more cruise nights. I've actually been compiling stuff that I know is happening. So I'll be driving a little bit more. Like I said, if I get the green card going, I'll drive that thing. I mean, why not? That's what my original plan. My plan still is I want to be able to jump in the green car like I jump in the blue car. I want to jump in and just go. That's why it's got fuel injection. That's why it's got, it's got a power. It's going to have a Power Master alternator on it. It's going to have LED lights. It's going to have all that good stuff. Yeah, the ignition module and ballast resistor on the Power Tour. This doesn't have that anymore because it's got the EFI and all that. But I do have a long list of spare parts that I would need to keep taking. I mean, I've already you ever have like plans in your mind? I'm like, ooh, I got an old tool bag that I can take these old tools I have and throw it in there and have them ready for it. So we'll see. Do you guys have any questions? Anyone have any questions on this or anything else or barn finds or cats? I have to go shoot my cat here in a minute because she's diabetic and needs her insulin shot. I'm gonna take a drink. Oh, God, so good. All right, let me see here. Oh, it's Jason. Hi, Jason. I gotcha. Okay. Looks like we got a lot of good stuff done. If you guys have any recommendations for anything on the Hot Rod Power Tour, they're out. Oh, Monday they're selling the tickets. Like if you want to be a long hauler or platinum or whatever, those go on sale Monday. So yeah, talking to Freiberger and Finnegan, and we'll hopefully be doing some stuff together this year. But of course, we're all can't get much further apart than what we got. Freiberger in LA, Finnegan down in Georgia. Of course, when I was in Georgia last year, both my two other so Steve's down there, but I have two other friends. I have Morgan, his daughter, and Finnegan. Finnegan was on Drag Week that week. It was like, of course. I get down to Georgia like once every few years, and he's gone. I'm like, oh, that's the way my luck works. But all right, we're a little past the hour mark, so I thought I'd let you guys go. I hope everyone enjoyed this little look into the dumpster fire that is my life. I will talk to you all soon. Leave it if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, send me a message, whatever. I'm pretty public. So I'll be around. Everyone, happy and healthy 2026, and I will see you all soon.